Well, good morning from Noddy Island, and I'm Noddy. and I'd just like to share a couple of things regarding what I guess in my dreaming and so forth, collective thinking, change, transformation, transfiguration, and so forth. We are in a change. And people are no longer being, we've used the term normal. Well, yeah, I have a dictionary here, and I look up words, because I'm dyslexic. I'd like to be a lexicon. That means somebody who knows the real meaning of the words that we use every day, but sometimes we don't know what they mean. We have an idea, an assumption. We assume. Apparently. They're interesting words, which really mean I'm not committed. In a sense. But as we're going into this change, some people are realizing they are not normal. The word normal comes from the word basically being a moron, being told what to do and not asking any questions. And so they're often not moron people or normal people. If someone acts, maybe they think about doing, but when actually somebody does it, wants some change because of injustice or whatever the perception may be at whatever given time, moment, or the now, they can be often called crazy. Well, some of us are crazy. We're crazy about justice. We're crazy about love. We're crazy about our partner. We have a passion, and our passion leads us to charity where we actually go out and do something. We might give some food or some money to a beggar on a street. Never underestimate your beggars on the street. I reckon I've been there for quite some time, and I've met, I think, people who are actually angels. They just don't fit into this world, and they end up on the street, and they're not in the system, and there's a little old man there sometimes. Anyway, I won't go into that, but we all seem to come to a conclusion, well, I do anyway, that we may have only two choices in life, two vital choices, and these choices are interesting when you dig deeper. We have a choice to love, and we have a choice to fear. These are two very, very powerful emotions. We are an electrical system consisting of trillions of viruses which got a Morgellons motor in them and so forth. These are all wired in such a way, like positive and negative. If you fear, it's a negative, it creates a negative in a sense. And then we get, from fear, we get hostility, we get resentment, we become angry, we can be unforgiving, we can be, it just goes on. Well, you can sum it up in what we call stinking thinking. Now, we've got an issue here with what we call racism. Well, racism is basically a byword of being a bigot, of bigotry. Now, easy way to explain that is if you've got a circle and you cut it up into, like a pie, and you cut it up into 16 pieces, and you are one of those 16 pieces, but from your point of view, you make decisions for everybody else. You don't listen to anybody else. You are, in a sense, trying to be self-centered. Me, myself, so forth. My point of view, and you don't take on other people's point of view and get a balanced perspective. So the word bigotry is interesting. I first heard it when I was a little boy, when they were singing about John F. Kennedy and the little girls, and they said to the little girl, "Do you know what bigotry is?" She goes, "I don't know what bigotry is." Well, bigotry, it's a creed. It's a belief system that you formulated, and when you say you believe something, you're no longer prepared to look at any other evidence that can challenge that belief system. You've formed a creed. And that becomes you, in a sense, because you are what you think. So a creed or an opinion in an obstinate narrow-minded way. It is narrow-minded, it's prejudging others, and it's interesting because when we're in fear, and we even the good book says, "Judge not, lest you be judged according to the manner you judged others." So, obstinate in a belief system, bigotry, the condition of being a bigot, big, as in I'm Mr. Big, I'm the centre of the universe, and what I believe, everybody else should believe it, and if you don't, well, you're not part of my club type of thing. And then we get racism and so forth. But yes, anyway, I just hope that we can change our thinking. Like, the only person who suffers is you. No one can harm you but you because of your thinking. Even when Jesus talked about, and all through the Bible was mentioned about forgiveness, and fear not. It mentions 365 times, one for every day. Fear not. Because if you live in fear, you become anxious and so forth, and you project things from your mind. Your mind can be enmity with your soul and your spirit and so forth. Renew your mind and be kind, be thoughtful, be considerate. These are all coming from thinking of love and so forth. And the word charity is love in action. I think it was Pilgrim's Progress that mentioned Pilgrim was dragging around all this baggage on his back. Well, it's very great. It was one of the best-selling books of all time, apart from the Bible, I guess. But we do drag behind a big rope of all these things and people we haven't forgiven. But it makes our life difficult. The only person who suffers if we don't forgive is ourselves. That's the way it is. I've seen people. Well, I've visited people in mental institutions, and I've listened to them. And basically, they've almost rotted their own mind, in a sense, by being so angry, so bitter, and so resentful that it's affected them, and they become diseased, in a sense, because of the way they think. So let's try and think a good way today, and let's keep away from this so-called racism. And those who are racist need to look at, do you really want to be a bigot? Because bigots end up very lonely people at the end of the day. Anyway, I'm Alan Noddy, and I wish you well, and I pray that whoever hears this today will be blessed, and just enjoy. And just as things and possessions and so forth can cloud us, and entertainment is there to distract us from what's really going on, let us focus on one another. I am you, you are me, and we're one together. And if I harm you in any way, shape, or form, I'm only harming myself. And I don't want to do that. Amen. Thank you very much for listening. My name is Alan, but it was originally Noddy, and I've taken on my original name. Thank you very much. Amen.